You are sitting there with a highlighter in your hand, staring at a textbook. You read a paragraph. You highlight it in yellow. You feel productive. You read the next paragraph. You highlight that too. Then you get to the bottom of the page and you realize something terrifying. You have absolutely no idea what you just read. Your eyes moved over the words, your hand moved the pen, but your brain was completely offline. You have to go back to the top and start over. This is the illusion of competence. You confuse familiarity with mastery. Just because you recognize the words doesn't mean you have learned them. This is why studying feels slow. This is why it takes you 6 hours to cover one chapter. You aren't learning. You're just looking at information. If you want to study at a speed that feels unfair, like you are literally downloading data into your mind, you need to stop consuming and start interrogating. The brain does not learn by absorption. It learns by struggle. It learns when it tries to predict an answer and fails, or when it tries to connect a new piece of data to an old framework. We are going to exploit this mechanism using a 3-step protocol called aggressive encoding. This isn't about speed reading. Speed reading is often a scam that sacrifices comprehension. This is about speed encoding. Step 1. The architecture scan, the skeleton. Imagine you are trying to hang clothes, but you haven't built the closet yet. The clothes just fall on the floor in a messy pile. That is what happens when you dive straight into reading a chapter from line 1. Your brain has nowhere to hang the information. Before you read a single sentence of content, you spend 5 minutes building the closet. Open the book or the lecture slides. Read the chapter title. Now read the bold subheaders. Look at the diagrams. Read the summary at the end. Do not read the text. Your goal here is to create a mental map. You are telling your brain, we are about to learn about mitochondria, and there are 3 main sections: structure, function, and DNA. Now when you actually read, the details snap into place because the slots are already there. This simple priming step doubles your reading speed because your brain isn't guessing where the argument is going. It already knows. Step 2, the interrogation protocol, the download. This is the core hack. Put the highlighter away, throw it in the trash. It is making you stupid. Passive reading turns off your brain. Active questioning turns it on. When you look at a subheader, turn it into a question immediately. If the header says the causes of WWI, you mentally ask what were the specific causes of WWI. Now you read the text looking for the answer. This shifts your psychology. You are no longer a student passively receiving a lecture. You are a detective looking for a specific clue. This is called intentional gap theory. You create a gap in your knowledge, the question, and your brain urgently wants to close it, the answer. When you find the answer, do not highlight it. Look away from the page. Say the answer out loud in your own words. If you can't say it, you didn't download it, you just looked at it. This process, question, hunt, answer, verbalize, creates a synaptic pathway that is 10 times stronger than reading the same sentence 5 times. It feels more intense. It requires more energy, but you only have to do it once. Step 3. The Feynman compression, the save button. You have finished a section. You feel like you know it. Now you need to hit save before the data corrupts. Most people close the book and walk away. That is why they forget 50% of what they learned by the next morning. It's called the forgetting curve. To hack this, you use compression. Grab a blank sheet of paper. Without looking at your notes, write down everything you just learned as if you were explaining it to a 5-year-old. This is the crucial part. You will get stuck. You will realize you remember the concept of photosynthesis, but you forgot the name of the specific molecule involved. Good. That gap is where the learning happens. Now, and only now, you open the book, find that specific missing piece and plug it in. By simplifying the information and writing it from memory, you are compressing complex data into a zip file in your brain. Complex information is hard to recall. Simple stories are easy to recall. The environment variable. You can execute this protocol perfectly, but if your hardware is lagging, the download will fail. You need to optimize your bandwidth. Your brain runs on rhythms. You cannot sustain this intensity for 4 hours. You do this in 45-minute sprints, cycles, followed by 10 minutes of complete sensory rest. During the sprint, Play binaural beats at 40 Hz gamma waves. This isn't magic, it's auditory entrainment. It encourages your brain to sync up with a frequency associated with high-level cognitive processing and focus. Put on headphones, blast the 40 Hz, and start the interrogation protocol. The result: when you study like this, it feels different. It feels aggressive. You aren't bored because you are constantly hunting and answering. You aren't sleepy because your brain is in fight mode. You will finish a chapter in 40 minutes that used to take you 3 hours. And the best part? When you walk into the exam room, you won't be hoping you remember. You will know. Because you didn't just borrow the information from the book. You downloaded it, encrypted it, and saved it to your hard drive. Stop reading. Start downloading. If you want to build the ultimate system for your academic or professional success, subscribe to BrainOS. We are rewriting the code for human potential.